Hi, welcome to the Sales Experts channel. Today we're going to talk about the practical guide for CEOs to get the B2B sales your company needs to grow. And when I say practical guide, I mean practical guide. We are really going to dig into the nitty-gritty and think about how to achieve the goals that you have for your business. So I want to introduce myself. Hang on just a second. Let me, Well, I'm just going to keep going. Hi, I'm Liz Heiman, and my mission is to take the mystery out of sales and to make your sales manageable and predictable. So if you are feeling a bit like your sales are out of control, or that you can't predict, or you aren't able to manage the cats or corral the cats that are your salespeople, then you need to start thinking about processes and systems that will help you get there. And that's what I do every day for my clients, help them be successful. I want to welcome you again to the Sales Experts channel. If you have not explored the Sales Experts channel, I encourage you to do some exploration. There's all kinds of great content. There are wonderful, brilliant presenters that are talking about everything sales. I'm going to mostly be talking to you about sales process and sales strategy. So let's just dig in and get started. The first thing that I want to say is that you are welcome to participate. If you have a question, I think I know how to answer your questions. So raise your hand or put a note in the notes section, and I will be looking for them and I'll answer them. So if you have questions, go ahead and let it be known that you have a question, and maybe we can start practicing. So in the questions section, just go ahead and tell me where you're from. Tell me your name and tell me where you're visiting from, and I will be glad to see that. So let's keep going. And again, please ask questions. I love when you participate. So go ahead and ask questions, interrupt me. I'm right here and happy to help you with whatever questions you have. The next thing that I want to tell you is that there are some attachments. And if you would like to have the slide deck while we're working, if you'd like to pull it up, it is in the attachments and it just says deck. And you can pull that up or download that or print that or whatever you want to do while we're talking, and have your own version of it. So, and there's all kinds of other really great content in there, but I'll tell you about that as we get a little further in. So I want you to start thinking about what is it that got you to join this conversation. Why did you take the time today to spend with us? And I wonder, is it because you're struggling with business development and lead generation? Are you trying to figure out why the plans you're making aren't working? I wonder, is your business growing as profitably as you'd like it to be? Are you focused on the customers that you need to be focused on? I just wonder what it is that got you here. So if you want to share that again in the chat section, go ahead and let me know. Why'd you come today? Why are you here? What are you looking for help with? What is it that made you go, gosh, I really need a practical guide to get some business drummed up? So what we're going to cover today is developing a plan for business growth. So how do you do that? How do you actually turn your ideas into a plan? I want you to get some sales and marketing alignment so that your teams are not banging heads, but actually working together to get the results that you need. I want you to help grow your business in the direction that you want to grow it in. And I want to see you be successful. So that's why we're here today. And that's what we'll be focused on. But I want to introduce myself this way too. I wanted to do that a minute ago. I'm Liz, and I'm so glad you're here with me. And seriously, my goal for you today is to be successful. And what I want to start by thinking about is creating a strategy. So let's think about, what is a sales strategy and how would you create one, and why do you need one? So we're going to talk a little bit about the how-to, but I want to take a minute and just talk about why you need a sales strategy. And the reason you need a sales strategy is because things don't happen accidentally. We need to decide what we want. and to be intentional about going to get it. We need to be proactive. And many of us have been running our business for many years reactive to the world around us. And what we learned in 2020 is that maybe isn't such a good idea. And what we really need to do is be proactive about our efforts to achieve the specific goals we've set out to achieve. And the way that we identify those goals is by creating a strategy. So that's what we're going to work on today. And I want to start by thinking about what happened last year. So let's think about where are we right now? What happened last year, and how can we build on that to get where we want to go? So what did happen last year in your world? What was your revenue? Was it similar to the year before? Was it more or less than the year before? What did you actually sell last year? So which products did you sell? Which were most profitable? Which were most desired? Which were easiest to sell? Which had the shortest sales cycles? Which made the most money? What did you sell? And what do you know about what you sold? And who sold it? So that's really important. We often have a sales team that's really disparate. One may be selling 10 times or 20 times as much as the other. So who sold what? And some people are better at selling some products than other products. So take a good look at who sold what things. And I want you to think about who are your top customers. Who are your top 5 or 10 customers? And I want you to think about what did they buy and what did they spend? So why are we doing this? Why have I asked you to take a look into the history, into the past, to figure out what we want to do in the future? Well, because the past gives us some information that we can build on. Did we do what we wanted to do? Did we sell the products that we wanted to sell? Did we achieve the goals that we set out to achieve? Did we sell to the people that we wanted to sell to? Did we get the most out of our biggest clients that we could have gotten? What did we do? And did we accomplish what we wanted to? And it's a really important place to start, because if we say, hey, yeah, we did this and we did this really well, we can figure out how to do more of it. If we realize we wanted to do this and we didn't get there, then we can start thinking about, well, how do I get there? What do I need to do differently to get me there? Or if we did things that we probably shouldn't have done, then we can look at that and go, maybe we shouldn't do that anymore and we should be focused on something else. So looking backward is a really important thing to do when you start thinking about strategy moving forward. And I know it's a hard thing to wrap your head around sometimes, because you're really ready to go forward. But let's go forward based on the facts that we have and the data that we have from last year. And so again, what was your revenue? What did you sell? What products? Who sold it? Who were your top customers? What did they buy? And how much did they spend with you? And that leads to questions, all of those, right? So then I want you to think about this year. What do I want to achieve this year? And next year is the next logical step from that. But let's start with just this year. So what is it that you want to have happen? What are your sales goals? How much do you want to achieve? What are your product sales goals, or your sales goals by product? What is it that you want to achieve? Which ones are most profitable? Which ones open doors? Which ones are good secondary products to sell to a customer? What are my product goals? Not just in terms of revenue, but placement in the market and placement with our customers. So what are your goals around product sales? What are your goals around industry? Have you been focused on one industry? Did things change and you focused on one industry you don't normally focus on? Did one industry decrease and another one increase? Kind of, what happened last year and where do I want to go this year? So which industries do I want to pursue? Which are going to be the most profitable? Which are the best fit for my product? Which are going to close the fastest? Which are going to bring the most money? Which are going to bring the best clients? So focusing on what industries do you want to pursue? Which industries do you want to grow, or verticals that you're already working in? Which new ones do you want to get into? Which ones do you want to get out of? So making a plan, and then seller goals. So what is reasonable for your individual sales reps? What should they be doing? What could they be doing with a little more help? Maybe you have sellers that your goal is that they shouldn't be there anymore. But figure out, if you have these overall sales goals, what does each seller need to accomplish to get there, and are they capable of doing it? Really important questions. So the next thing I want to talk to you about is sales math. And this is one of those topics that, used to make me cringe. I am so, if you're like me, like math in school was your least favorite thing to be doing. And now all I do is talk about sales math, which I think is really funny, but the math behind your selling decisions is really important. So there's the math about how much do I have to charge in order to make a profit on this, and that math is really important. But there's also the math that has to do with how do you make sure that you have the right number of leads in order to get the right number of closes. So let's talk a little bit about this. So what's the math you need to reach your goals? And so if you had a sales process, and let's just stop and talk about sales process for a second. So if you don't have a sales process, or you're not really clear what a sales process is, if you look up my name in the Sales Experts channel on Bright Talk, you will find a really great video, I say about myself, a really great video on how to create a sales process and how to use one. But you have a sales process, and it has different stages, and there are ratios. And let's go back to the slide for a minute. But there are ratios that you want to achieve. So your sales process matches your buyer journey, and it takes you from prospecting to closing. So let's look at what that might look like. So what I'm trying to figure out in all of this is, what is the math that gets me to the number of deals closed and won that I need in order to hit my sales goals? So let's kind of go from the bottom up. If I have one, for every deal that I close, how many have to be in what we call best few or close, or in the process of signing? So is it 2 to 1? Is it 3 to 1? How many of the ones that I'm trying to get a signature on actually close, or close when I expect them to do? So it might be a ratio of 1 to 2, and I'll show you this in a different way in just a second. And the next phase is cultivate. So if I'm working up my funnel, in order to get to the point where people can actually sign, I need to do some work with them to understand their needs and overcome objections and answer questions and solve problems. And so of the people that are in this area, how many of those will actually move to the process of trying to get a signature and then actually become business? And you work your way all the way up. So if your sales process is, I go from marketing and getting a marketing qualified lead to a sales qualified lead to a qualified opportunity to a cultivate, close, one. What's the number of marketing qualified leads I need in order to come up with the number of sales qualified leads that I need? And what's the number of sales qualified leads that I need to come to the right number of qualified opportunities? And so let's take a look at that in a different way. So this is a funnel, and you'll see it has the same information that the last one did. We have prospect, qualify, cultivate, and close. So up here in the world of prospecting, how many do I need in order to get 10 that I can actually pursue? And then of those 10, if I try to qualify them, I'm going to qualify out at least 3 or 4 of them in that process. So maybe I get down to 7. And then once I've qualified and I've gone through the process, then I might go, oh, well, only 4 of these are actually qualified leads that I should be pursuing. And of those qualified leads that I'm cultivating, only 2 of them are going to move to the signature stage, and then maybe 1 will close. So this is what I call funnel ratios or sales math. And what you need to do in your organization is figure out, what are these ratios? Because once you understand these ratios, then you can say, if I want to achieve this number, this revenue number, I need to sell this many things, which represents this many closed sales. And in order to get this many closed sales, I have to work my way up to how many marketing qualified leads do I need, or how many sales qualified leads do I need? And in order to get that, how many people need to click on my content? How many people need to download something? How many people need to fill out a form in order to pull the information down? So we want to think about our sales funnel and our marketing funnel and how they're related and what the outcome is that I need to have in order to achieve that. So I hope that made sense to you. If it didn't, please let me know that it didn't make sense and I will try again. But the idea is understanding the ratios that get you to the number of sales that you need to achieve the amount of revenue that you need. That's what we're trying to figure out. And the question then becomes, how are you to get those leads? So we often think that it's all about sales or it's all about marketing, and we don't really think about how the two come together. So if I understand my sales funnel and my sales map, and I've really thought about, these are the products that I want to sell, these are the customers that I want to sell to, this is what I want to achieve, then I can go back to my marketing team and say, here's what I need you to deliver for me in order for my sales team to close the right business to achieve the goals that I want to achieve. And by now, I'm hoping that you have already spent some time thinking about your ideal customer and your market positioning and your value proposition. And if you have not, then doing your marketing to achieve your sales goals is going to be really difficult. So I'm going to encourage you to go to another webinar, which is called Improve B2B Sales and Business Growth with On-Target Sales Positioning. And in this video, I talk specifically about how do you identify your ideal customer? How do you write your value proposition? How do you position yourself in the marketplace? And those things will help your marketing team achieve the marketing results that they need to help you get the sales results that you need. So let's talk about a lead generation strategy, which is not just a marketing strategy, because your sales team and your marketing team are both involved in lead generation. So if we think about it, where is your sales team most effective? So if I want my sales team to use their time the best way that they can use their time, their most effective way that they can use their time, it's probably in relationships that they already have. Now, you may choose to have a team that does cold calling and outbound and answers inbound leads, but for our sales team, we want them to be focused on qualified leads and getting more business from existing customers and getting business from relationships they already have. That is the best use of your sales team's time. So the rest of the lead generation is going to come from marketing or a joint venture between marketing and sales. And if sales and marketing are joint venturing, that means marketing is surrounding our customer with content in a variety of ways that could be anything from email to social media to search to even handwritten cards or content that is physical through snail mail or gifts or any other thing. So we are going to surround our customer, and then we're going to put our salesperson in a position where they can make a call that is not a cold call out to a customer that may be interested. So when we're thinking about lead generation, we're thinking about it from two perspectives. We're thinking about it from a marketing perspective and a sales perspective. Salespeople should always be looking for new leads, and marketing should be helping to deliver leads. So let's go back to the slides for a minute and talk about how marketing and sales can best use their time to get you the leads that you need in order to close the business that you need. And the way we do this is we start by asking, where are our prospects? We want to be where they are. And it used to be that was a physical thing. We wanted to physically be where they were. We wanted to go visit them. We wanted to be at events they were at. We wanted to be at networking events and opportunities where they were, or be someplace where we might bump into them for coffee. But now the world has become much more virtual. So when we ask, where are our customers, we really need to think about where they are virtually and physically. So let's start by talking about social media. Are they on LinkedIn? Are they on Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, Clubhouse? And if they are in those places, so if they are on LinkedIn, what is the best way to leverage LinkedIn to access my customer so that they would want to buy from me? And if they're on Instagram, what do I need to be doing to get their attention and to get them to convert in some way? If they're on Facebook, same thing. Do I need a Facebook group? Do I need a Facebook page? Where are they? What are they looking at? And how do I communicate with them? Should I be having Facebook ads? TikTok, if you've got a young crowd, TikTok is all the rage right now. And if you don't know about Clubhouse, I encourage you to go check it out, because there are a lot of people in Clubhouse right now that are actually buying. So understanding where is your customer in the social media world, but also where are they otherwise? Are they reading email? Are they answering the phone? I don't know. How many of you answer phone calls from people you don't know? I have gotten to the point where it is almost never, unless I think it's somebody I know. So are they answering the phone? Are they going to conferences, either virtually or in person? Are they researching on the internet? Are they networking in person or on the internet? Where are they? And how do I then engage with them where they are? So that is not just a sales problem, not just a marketing problem. Again, this is a joint venture problem. How do we surround our customer where they are, again, with the messaging that matters to them? So the next question becomes, how do I get their attention? How do I actually get them to talk to me, to listen to me, to know that I'm there? And that is super important. And again, I mentioned that I had the webinar on positioning, on positioning yourself with your target market. You cannot get their attention if you don't know who they are and what matters to them. We have to know how they describe their problem in their words if we want to get their attention. So we want to be where they are, but we also want to use messaging that draws them in. And I think of messaging in two ways. So there's the building awareness messaging, where they go, oh, yeah. And that can be content, that can be advertising, but that's the kind of messaging that is out there in the world to help our customers understand that we're there. Because when they're very early in their buying process, they may not realize that they need us. They may not realize that they have a problem. They may not understand what the solutions are. So at that point, we're trying to build awareness. And that's when I want them to go, oh, yeah. And the next thing is when I want to get their attention. So maybe they're a little further down in their buying process and they're ready for some solutions. And I want to get their attention. And what I want them to say at that point is, oh, tell me more. I want to know more about that. That is the next stage in the funnel. But what we want to finally get to is for them to say, wow, can you do that for me? And that is when they're ready for a solution. That is, and you could be meeting them for the first time and they could be ready for a solution. But that's our goal, is to get them to the point where they go, can you do that for me? And once you get them to do that, once you get them to say that, you can now move them into the sales funnel and through the process. We're not going to move them into the sales funnel from, oh, that's interesting, or even tell me more. They don't move into the sales funnel until they get to the point where they're going, I really need that solution. I really need that solved. I really need help with that. And the excitement, the visceral excitement of, I think I found somebody who can solve that problem for me. This is very exciting. So that is when they move into your sales funnel. And so what we need is our marketing team and our sales team working on helping our customers move through their buying process and being there to support them as they're coming to understand what it is that they need. So then the question is, what tools can you use to get there? Can you use articles? Can you use videos? What we know is videos are hugely powerful right now. Videos on YouTube, videos on social media like Facebook and LinkedIn. But more importantly, emailing videos to people is having a huge, huge impact. Can we use ads? Can we use social media ads? Can we use magazine ads? Can we use Google ads? How about connections? Can we connect with people on Facebook, on LinkedIn? And how do we do that effectively without chasing them away, which a lot of people are doing with their marketing right now? Can I use posts? Can I use introductions? The most powerful tool we have is introductions. So how do we use them, and how do we maybe connect introductions and connections to get us what we need? But these are the tools that we have in our tool bag. And there's more. There's bumping into people. There's events, which I didn't put on here. So there are more tools, but these are kind of the core tools that we're using right now to get customers' attention. But then the next really important question is, what resources can you expend? And I think this is really, really important. People tend to think, oh, social media is free, I'll do that. But you know what? It's not free. You have resources available to you. You have time, you have money, you have brain power, and you have focus. And you know, we tend to think about resource in terms of time and money, but focus is hugely important. Am I focusing my energy on the right marketplace, on my ideal customer, on the business that's going to close, on the business that's going to close most quickly, that's going to buy more, that's going to continue repeat buy from me? So when we think about our resources and bandwidth, brain bandwidth is also hugely important. So how am I focusing my resources? But how much can, whether it's your salespeople or your marketing people, how much can they think about? How much can they manage? We have gotten to the point where we are so overusing our brains. We have so much input coming in, so much we're trying to manage, so much we're trying to do. So you really have to ask yourself, if I add that extra channel, do I have the brain bandwidth? Do we have the brain power to add that? And is that the right focus for the resources that we have to get the results that we need? Do we have the money? Do we have the time? You can't just say, hey, I'm going to do this. You have to stop and go, what can I afford to do? And it's really important that we understand all of the resources, all of the expenses, all the costs of our different marketing efforts and sales efforts: time, money, brain power, focus. But there's also one more piece, which is, if we don't do it well, if we do it poorly, are we ever going to have the opportunity to interact with that client again? Sometimes, for instance, with really badly done LinkedIn messaging, we may never have the opportunity to communicate with that customer again. So be really careful and thoughtful about your effort to bring in leads, and think about what you can afford to do. And then I want you to think about the results that you need. So if we're going to allocate these resources, what result do I need to make it worthwhile? So if I'm going to a conference, how much is it really going to cost me, and what needs to come out of that to make it worthwhile? So when I think about results and I think about sales and marketing, I'm going to throw out some terms, and I want you to really think about, as the leader of the company, what are the results you need? So when we're talking about marketing, we're often talking about things like clicks and downloads and engagement. And those are great, but that's not revenue. And so if we're really focused on clicks and downloads engagement, how is that converting to revenue? So we want to think about results, not activity. And a lot of times marketing teams are really focused on activity as opposed to revenue. And we want to get our team focused on revenue. Now you may have to have a certain number of clicks to get to a certain number of downloads, to get to a certain number of a certain amount of engagement, to get to the point where you actually get the meetings. And that's okay. But really think about, what are the results you need? Because when the bottom line comes, what you need is closed deals. And all the activity in the world doesn't matter if it doesn't deliver the results that you need in terms of revenue. So this goes back to our funnel. Right? So I'm gonna jump back there. Let's see if I can figure out how to do that. Hold on just a second. Let's see if I can figure out how to jump us back to the funnel that we were talking about. So what are the actual results that we need from our marketing efforts? So again, how many clicks? How many clicks? How many downloads? How much engagement do we need to get the number of prospects that I need in order to get the number of closes that I need to hit the revenue number that I want to hit. All of this matters. This is the math that matters. And so when your marketing team is talking about clicks and downloads, you want to know how that converts to revenue. Okay, let's try it and get back to where we were. Hang on just a second. Bear with me as we get back. So what are the actual results that you need in order to get the closed deals that you need? So this is, again, about alignment between your sales and marketing team. How do you get so that you are moving people through the funnel all the way to closed deals? And what I want to talk about for just a second is I want to talk about this idea of a funnel, right? So I showed you a funnel that is wide at the top and narrow at the bottom. And that's what I call the sales funnel. And at the top is what I call marketing, or prospecting. But what we often hear people talk about is a sales funnel when what they really mean is a marketing funnel, meaning they're getting to the point where they are having a meeting, or they're getting to a point where they have clicks and downloads, or they're buying something online. And that's fine. If your customers are going to buy their product online without you being involved, if you don't have a complex sale and they're just going to purchase online, that's fine. Then your job ends at the marketing funnel. But if you have a B2B complex sale, or you have the opportunity to sell multiple things to existing customers, your sales process really doesn't begin until it gets into the top of the sales funnel and the sales team takes control of it and works on closing the deals. So it's really important to understand the difference between a marketing funnel and a sales funnel, and how you're going to get the results that you need from the top for marketing and sales prospecting all the way through the funnel to the point where you have the revenue closing that you need. So what is the impact of doing the things that I just talked about? And I just talked really quickly about a lot of things. But the idea is, again, what is the impact? And when I say impact, I mean, what is the revenue that comes as a result of this? And what we want to be thinking about while we are planning all of this, while we're building our sales and lead gen strategies, is what is the greatest impact for the least effort? So selling to my existing customers is always the greatest impact for the least effort if I have a large customer list. Getting referrals is always a greater impact with less effort than starting cold. So what effort do I need to put forth to get the impact that I need? And how do I use my resources as effectively as possible to get the results that I need? And again, that means focusing on your ideal customer, focusing your effort, focusing your brain power on the things that get results. It matters. Just throwing it out there into the world or having too wide of a focus means that you're not getting enough of what you need. And what you want is, when the lead goes into the top of the sales funnel, you want it to be as qualified as possible so that your sales team is focused on the stuff that's going to close. So narrow your focus and get the leads that you need to grow your business. And this is what I was just talking about, priorities and focus. There are lots of things you can do. There are tons of choices, how you're going to spend your time, what your messaging is going to be, who you're going to focus on, what social media, what live events. All of those things are choices that need to be made. And they need to be made based upon the priorities that you set in your sales strategy and the focus that you decide it's going to take to hit those priorities. That is really the key to your success. So what's the result of all this effort? Well, marketing and sales alignment, which is really powerful, really, really powerful. More traction with more prospects, or with the right prospects, that's important. Better use of resources and more sales. And that's our goal. So this is a really good time, if you have questions, to go ahead and ask them. And if you want to take a minute to think about your question, then go ahead. That's fine with me. I'm going to share a little bit more information with you about who I am and how you can reach me, and some of the great tools that are available to you. So if you go to the attachments section, you will find a number of things. One is you will find a link to the Sales Experts channel, which I encourage you to check out if you have not. Again, there's some great shows, great experts. Really proud to be a part of this team. The second thing you will find is a couple of downloads. One is the deck, as I said. Just note that there's a page in the deck that shouldn't be there, but if you get to a page and it doesn't make sense, just ignore it. And there are also several links. There's a link to my website. And if you go to my website and you click on Show Me More, you can get a download on creating a sales operating system. There's also a link to 7 steps to build an effective sales strategy. And that lays out all of the things that I talked about in the sales strategy part of this and gives you a checklist and a guide that you can actually work through to create your sales strategy. So if you're interested in that, I encourage you to go there and download those documents. It's seriously everything you need to do it. The other thing I want to offer you, and there's also a link to this, if you would like to talk about your sales strategy or your lead generation strategy, I offer, if you schedule from here, a 30-minute free, no obligation opportunity to answer questions or to get your questions answered about getting started on your lead generation strategy or your sales strategy. And it's just 30 minutes that you get to ask whatever you want, and I'll help you figure out how to do what you need to do. If you would like to reach me, there are several ways you can reach me. You can reach me by phone. You can reach me on my email address, Liz@regarding-sales. You can reach me on LinkedIn, Liz Heiman, or Facebook. Well, Facebook is regarding sales. So if you want to find me on Facebook, you need to go to Regarding Sales. You could also find me on Liz Heiman. But LinkedIn is a great way to communicate with me. You can also find me on Clubhouse. So if you're on Clubhouse, I'm doing rooms all the time. So go ahead and follow me on Clubhouse. And again, it's just Liz Heiman. And you can join the rooms. And all of my rooms, almost all of my rooms, are open so that you can come up and ask questions and chat and talk. I also, every Thursday at 1 o'clock Pacific time, I have a Facebook Live, and you are welcome to participate in that conversation as well. So I don't see any questions, so I will let you guys go. Have a fabulous day. Happy selling and good luck. I hope you reach your goals.